How trendy is charity? An analysis of Google searches over time. The year 2020 was a wild ride for many of us. On the one hand, COVID-19 accumulated a massive toll of death and morbidity, and businesses imposed dramatic staff cuts following nationally implemented lockdown measures to protect human lives. On the other hand, the Black Lives Matter movement focused the world's attention on the institutionalized racism of U.S. law enforcement, instigating positive policy reform following the death of George Floyd. In the most trying times, altruistic behaviors shine brightest. The past year was tough on many people. The givers among us took it upon themselves to do what they could to help. Rock star John Bon Jovi was spotted helping with the dishes at one of his community restaurants, while country music icon Dolly Parton's $1 million donation to Moderna helped lead to one of the first COVID-19 vaccines. These are the types of kind gestures that have kept spirits high and may have made a difference in the lives of those who were hit the hardest this year. Kind gestures of a financial nature are often seen during times of trouble, with large donations from celebrities and charitable foundations capturing the spotlight. But on an individual level, has people's interest in making charitable donations changed as a result of the events of 2020? To investigate a potential positive effect of the past year on people, we collected Google search data and crunched the numbers using R. We explored both the number of search hits for the word donate and the types of searches that were related to these hits. In doing so, we could not only observe how much people were interested in donating, but also determine which causes people wanted to donate to. We also restricted our investigation to searches coming from the US and the UK to dodge any language barriers that might crop up. Since the beginning. It is best to begin with a bit of background. Google has only started recording data since 2004, so let's start there. According to our analysis, seen in Figure 1, even though the road has been bumpy, the number of search hits for the word donate has seen an increase over the years. There are two notably high peaks that tower over this graph, one in August 2014 and the other spanning April to June 2020. You may also notice a trend of seasonal increases around the winter holidays each year. While we are glad to see that the holiday spirit of charity is alive and well, we're more interested in giant spikes, such as the one seen here coinciding with the COVID-19 pandemic. Trendy charity. To get a better look at last year's sudden rise in hits for the term donate, we took a slice of search history data spanning from April 2019 to October 2020. We extended our bracket to 2019 so that we could control for any seasonal increases that might have also occurred last year. In Figure 2, we can see our familiar spike of holiday spirit followed by two distinct peaks in early April and late May 2020. Let's look deeper into the April peak first. Peak 1. COVID-19. In the UK, most of Europe, and some US states like New York and New Jersey, April 2020 is when lockdown started. And in the rest of the US, social distancing measures were in full swing. COVID-19 cases were rising globally, placing immense strain on health services. Epidemiologists and other health professionals suggested that strict measures such as social distancing and restricting access to bars and restaurants be put into place to, quote-unquote, flatten the curve. Yet, even with these measures in place, the burden on the health sector has been heavy. The news frequently reminded the public that hospitals were running out of PPE, circulating shocking images of nurses wearing aprons and bin bags. In Figure 3, citizens are seen rising to the challenge and potentially wanting to help. The most common search terms that accompanied the term donate were related to donating blood or donating to the National Health Service, or NHS. A particularly respectable gentleman from the UK, Captain Tom Moore, celebrated his 100th birthday by raising 1.5 million individual donations for the NHS. Hence, Captain Tom being the third most popular search hit. It warms our hearts to know that the Captain Toms of the world keep making an appearance when the world needs them most. Peak 2. George Floyd. The second peak on our graph is at its highest in late May, early June. On May 25, 2020, George Floyd, a 46-year-old unarmed black man, was killed during an arrest in Minneapolis, sparking tremendous backlash against police brutality in the U.S. For several weeks, the streets of many cities across the US and UK were filled with outraged protesters who rallied behind the Black Lives Matter, or BLM, movement. The BLM Global Network Foundation established itself as the go-to for individual action, with the aim of putting community contributions towards generating criminal justice reform. Unsurprisingly, BLM dominated the related searches for people looking to donate around this period, seen in Figure 4. Interestingly, most people were also inquiring about where to donate. This could imply that a new wave of donors was being created, unfamiliar with the process, but driven to make a meaningful contribution. It could also be due to the myriad of charities that were taking donations for the BLM cause, some of which had to redirect donors elsewhere due to an unprecedented volume of donations. Additionally, even with BLM attracting the most attention from potential donors, blood donation was the third most popular search, showing that health was still a central concern even during a time of social unrest. Takeaways. The number of searches for the word donate broke all-time records in April of 2020. Even if a small percentage of people that look up how to donate actually donate, the impact will be substantial. An important point to note is that our results came from a combination of UK and US search hits. We will be posting another article soon where we look at these two countries comparatively to see whether there were any differences between them. But for now, it is best for the reader to bear in mind that these are overall findings. With that disclaimer out of the way, it's great to see that when important causes arise, people switch on their inner altruist. If only the billionaires who grew their fortunes off of the pandemic would step up their donations to charity, we might make the year 2021 one for the history books too. Did you enjoy this article? Did you feel like there was anything missing, or are you thinking about a collaboration? Feel free to send us an email at team@doubledummies.org, or leave a comment with your suggestions or praises. See you next week!